when it comes to the relationships that a mother-enmeshed man may have had, there is a chance that he has been with a number of women who are not very healthy. And this could mean that he has been with women who are cold, unempathetic, critical, lack boundaries, and are self-centered. So these women could be described as being narcissistic. And at the same time, he might not have been with women who are anything like this. However, if he has been with women who are like this, at this point, if he was to self-reflect, he could believe that all women are the same, and he could believe that he is a powerless victim when it comes to the women who he ends up with. And so he won't have a choice, he won't be able to do anything about this, because this will just be what women are like. And if he was able to take a step back and to reflect on what his mother is like, what his mother was like during his early years, what he may be able to see is that these women have a lot in common with what his mother was like very early on, and perhaps is still like to this day. However, he might not be able to be this objective, and he might not have this awareness. And so, if he was to take a step back, he could say that these women are nothing like his mother, and that his mother was very different and is very different. And so this can show that he is simply not willing to face reality. And so he won't be able to see how the women he has ended up with are basically a match of the woman that he was brought up by. And at this point, if he was able to see that there is a match, and so he was able to see his mother for who she was and who she is, then he could struggle to understand why these women would reflect his mother, because this stage of his life will be over, and so there will be no reason for him to re-experience what took place in the past. However, although the past will be in the past, there will be a part of him that is very much stuck in the past. And this can be seen as his emotional self, so physically and mentally he will have grown, but most likely as his mother used him to meet some of our adult and unmet childhood needs, and this would have prevented him from receiving what he needed in order to grow and develop, his whole being will not have moved on from the past. Emotionally, he is likely to be developmentally stunted, and so many years will have passed, but the child that he was will now live inside him. And it will be this inner child that is defining who he is and is not attracted to. And as he didn't receive what he needed very early on, this inner child is going to be very needy, is going to be very desperate for the love, the affection, and the attention that it missed out on all those years ago. And not only this, as he was treated badly by his mother very early on, then being treated in this way will be what is familiar, and therefore what feels safe. This would have defined his inner model of what women are like. And so on one hand, he will be very needy and desperate for love, affection, and attention. And on the other hand, being around a woman who is like his mother will be what feels safe. And so due to how needy he is, and due to this unconscious need to be around a woman who is a match, he is going to be drawn to women who are a match. And once he meets a woman like this, his adult self, his intellect is most likely going to be offline, and his emotional self will take over, and so he won't be able to be discerning. And so he will just go along with things, and then before he knows it, he will be with a woman who is very similar to his mother, and then intellectually he can wonder what is going on. But this was destined to happen. A big part of him wanted this to happen, but of course until he becomes aware of this, he won't be able to do anything about this, because the ideal will be for his adult self to be in the driver's seat instead of his inner child. Because although once he is with a woman like this, he will say that he is with the wrong person. And he will be with someone who is not a good fit for him. But at a deeper level, this will be the person who his inner child wanted to end up with. And of course, as this inner child is in a very wounded state, it is only natural that he will end up with women who are also deeply wounded, who will have their own issues with their own mother and father and other people. And so unconsciously they will be replaying their early childhood. And so in order for a man to end up with women who are healthy, he will need to heal his inner child. He will need to face the pain that this part of him is in and to work through it. And as he does this, he will be less needy, because in the beginning, unconsciously, he will be projecting the mother he wanted onto a woman. And then as time goes on, he can end up with a woman who is a reflection of his mother and who he made his mother out to be. And so through dealing with his unmet childhood needs, his resonance will change, and so he will be drawn to women who are different. And through being less needy, he will be able to think more clearly when he does meet a woman. And so there will be less chance that he will end up with a woman who is not a good match for him. And so if you can relate to this, this is not a time for you to shame or blame yourself. You have simply been doing the best that you can with what you know. And as you start to learn more and to change what is taking place within you, you will gradually be drawn to different women. And to do this, you may need to reach out for external support so that you can gradually start to work through your wounds and to change your life. Because you don't deserve to be with a woman who is abusive. So please reach out for the assistance that you need to gradually change your life. To find out more about the services that I offer and how I can assist you on your journey, go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk. I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.